bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Well, you can calm down. It's all right. Fade to Black. It's back. Thursday night, FADERNIGHT. Bespoke radio for the masses. Today's Thursday, October 13th, 287 days into the new year. Just 79 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, and north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your so humble host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? It's okay. You can calm down. Calm down. It's all good. Tonight is another Fader night, Thursday night. We've got Jon Rappoport here on deck and his No More Fake newsroom, followed by open lines all night long. The call-in number is 323-825-5045. Yeah, man, Dancing Gifts on fire tonight. Oh, man. So this is like, there must be 50, 100 right in a row. Look at that. My goodness. Oh, definitely 50, and they're still rolling in. I said James Brown. Well done. I don't know where you guys got all of the Van Halen gifts, but those are pretty cool, too, as well. The one with Eddie sitting at the piano, blowing the smoke rings. That's pretty good. All right. Yeah. We just had an issue last night. It's just one of those things, right before showtime, drivers, and that's it, and it was just way too much stress and stuff to pull that out. So we're just like, man, we'll just run with a replay and take a night off. First time in 5 years. Okay, it happens. It happened last night. I apologize to William Henry, who we were talking to all the way up until about 8 o'clock last night. And we just didn't pull it off. And he was here, and he's such a good friend and such a cool guy. And so our apologies to William Henry. We tried to get him on the show tonight, but couldn't pull that one off. So anyway, tonight, just a nice, mellow Fader night. All right, open lines all night long. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do. Follow us on Twitter at JChurchRadio, Facebook, YouTube. You know what to do. And kind of a weird day today because all of the normal action that happens the day after a show, podcast, editing, this, YouTube and videos and renderings and all of that stuff didn't happen today. And so we followed that up with YouTube violations. We just went, oh, man, yesterday and today we did like, I don't know, 50 violations, couple of fake Fade to Black channels. and everything got pulled down. If you find anything on YouTube, if you guys are ever out there surfing and you find some channel with one of our videos on it, let us know. And if you find one of our videos that's monetized, oh, man, just let us know. All right? We don't play around with that kind of stuff. And so there you go. All right, follow us at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. The sandbox is hashtag F2B. Get yourself some tweet deck and download it from Twitter and get a hashtag F2B column going. That's what you should do. Become a FADERNIGHT, get her done, and come out and hang out with all of us. Any questions tonight during the show, use the hashtag F2BQ. That is Fade to Black Questions, hashtag F2BQ. All right. I do want to thank River Moon Coffee for sending us their Fade to Black blend for us to check out. And yes, it is amazing. Been drinking it now for 2.5 days. Haven't been to bed. It's pretty amazing. And we've put away our organic French roast. So that's been put on the back burner while we go through this Fade to Black roast. It's amazing. And we're really enjoying their stuff. And now, since it's ours, maybe we can fine-tune this brew. I mean, you know what I mean? Not by much, though, because it's nearly friggin' perfect. It really is. But I think I should be able to power trip a little, right? Because it's got our name on it. And, power trip and suggest something, right? Yeah, I'm entitled. I don't know what I would say, but you know what I mean? Because you kind of got a power trip. Yeah. Well, there you go. River Moon Coffee. You can follow them at River Moon Coffee on Twitter and go check out their stuff. I don't know. I haven't been over there. I mean, we haven't taken things to another level yet, but yeah, maybe they should be selling this stuff. It's pretty good. Maybe they sell it under another name. Maybe they just slapped my name on something else they're already roasting, which is fine. It's pretty cool to have a bag of coffee with the name of your show on the front. It's pretty cool. River Moon Coffee. Thank you so much. And I'm telling you right now, check it out. Look, I'll do it in real time. Man, that's good stuff. It's chocolatey. It's got that chocolatey thing going on. Man, it's just really smooth, really, really delicious for a dark roast, which is what I prefer. All right, check out our sponsor, Life Change Tea. I did get a full complement of stuff for the bunker that I need to have here. And one of the things that I really like from Life Change Tea are the drops. So now here in the studio, I've got 3 bottles here in front of me. I've got the olive leaf extract. I've got the moringa extract, and I can't believe how good these taste, by the way. They're very addictive. And I've got a bottle of vitamin C drops. I doubled up today. So I've got those right here in the studio. Love them. Go get yours. Go to Life Change Tea and check out the moringa drops, the olive drops, vitamin C drops, not pills. Drops are fun and they taste good. GetTheTea.com. That's all you got to do. It's very simple. Just mention Jimmy when you order, either over the phone or online, and you get yourself free shipping. All right. And of course, the Studio Dome FADERNIGHT special, which we've been sponsoring now for probably 6 months. We've had this special going. Before that, we had the little SD1 wireless speakers, but now they've got the Studio Dome FADERNIGHT special, which is a stereo Bluetooth system, TWS, true wireless stereo Bluetooth technology, 2 SB-B2 speakers, power, $129 in a hard shell case. Just use the promo code JCRTWS when you order. That's over 60% off the normal price of $399. That's a deal. Everybody wants to get a deal. You want to know somebody and get a deal. Well, you do. JCRTWS. And you're going to get free shipping. Just click on the banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. All right, let's go. Let's get the show cracking. Today, Sammy Hagar is 69. All right, let the jokes. You know what's weird? Whenever I bring up Sammy, and then suddenly this David Lee Roth, Sammy Hagar debate comes into play. And for me, Sammy did his stuff with Van Halen. There's no doubt about it. It's, there's some great stuff there. But Van Halen is David Lee Roth. Man, Women and Children First, Diver Down, right? Van Halen 2, Van Halen 1. You can't Women and Children First. What am I leaving out? 1984? Holy crap, right? You know what I mean? But Sammy has got his fans out there, and he's great. So I'll start the debate right now. Right now, in Twitter. What is it, man? Is it David Lee Roth or is it Sammy Hagar? Really, what is the real Van Halen for you? You're not going to offend me. I'm just interested. What is it? Is it DLR or Sammy Hagar? Also today, Sacha Baron Cohen is 45. Ali G, Borat, King Julian in Madagascar. He was awesome in that, by the way. Move it, move it. I'll sing the whole song right now. Paul Simon today is 75. DLR, that's what I'm talking about. Wasn't it David Loss? David? Yes, it was, Les, and we announced it. Yes, we did. We did. All right, so we got a couple of, David. Okay, all right. They're starting to come in right now on Twitter. We'll do it. Oh, Bob said DLR. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, I get it. And recently found 1984 on vinyl. Well done. Eddie makes Van Halen, no substitutes. Sam Halen, no. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you on that. Paul Simon today is 75. Sammy Hagar, no offense to Halen fans. See, Les, Michael Hicks, not this guy. Do you guys know the story about Sammy Hagar when he said that he got the download from the UFO in his bedroom, and this like fiber optic cable came out through the ceiling and plugged into his head and gave him a download? Do you guys know that story? It's in his book. It's pretty crazy, actually. Marie Osmond today is 57, and Special Agent Fox Mulder today is 55. Our dead guy's birthday today is, I don't have one. On this day in history, 1792, the White House cornerstone was laid. Remember the ghost? The ghost in, you remember that? The ghost in the White House? The rebuilding? That shot? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Fader fact. Cornflakes have more genes than people do. Yeah, that's a fader fact. But thankfully, it's not the numbers that are important here, but the sophistication of the gene networks. Thank God for that. That's what I'm talking about. Tonight's Fader Night, we have Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom coming up. He is in the batter's box. All right, the call-in number is 323-825-5045. Open lines all night long. Well, when we get to them. Hey, did you hear about Bob Dylan? Got a Nobel? Yeah, got a Nobel. More on that in a bit. We have to digest so much information now. It's getting insane. And at least with the old days, when you didn't have a cell phone, the internet, 24-hour news channel, satellite, cable. CNN started when? 81, 82, 83, the dawn of cable, right? Before that, satellite cable, now you have CNN and Fox coming into your car for drive time. Just in case you missed something in the last few minutes before you left your house and got into your car, it's nuts. And then when you get out of your car at work and walk in, it's like, hey, man, I might have missed something between there and here. Better get out my cell phone, check the news before I get my first cup of coffee or my third. News is coming at us from everywhere. This last week, for me, well, for the world, the news that was coming at us was insane. In the last week, we've had things like, I'll start with the obvious, like the Billy Bush tapes, right? We've got everything that is involved with that and what came off of that. And it hasn't stopped. We've got that. U.S. destroyers getting fired upon off of the coast of Yemen. Missiles flinging back and forth, us shooting back, taking out radar installations. We've got the New York Times, which is normally giving us the news. Now they are the news right now. Going to get sued by Donald, not going to get sued. They're printing and retractions that aren't happening. That has been 72 hours of straight news right there. Of course, we had the debate on Sunday. North Korea. Crazy news with North Korea right now. We have South Korea in the news. South Korea, they want to nuke up again. Yeah. And normally it's the conservatives that are screaming about that in South Korea. Now everybody there wants to nuke up. WikiLeaks, every single day, WikiLeaks. We've got Iraq and Mosul, right? Aleppo and its children. Hurricane Matthew in the last week. Creepy clowns. The U.S. and Russia are on the brink of war. We had that train crash in New Jersey. And that's just what I remember. I mean, that's just me listing out stuff off of the top of my head. I've left out all of the Hillary Donald crap. We still have an election in a month. But just think about what I just said to you. That's 1 week worth of news. And all of this is 24 hours a day, nonstop barrage. How can our nerves sustain this kind of damage? This kind of news bombing that is happening every second of every day. It's insane. If I went back and dissected and actually looked at the news feeds and pulled up other stuff, think about the list in the last 7 days. How do we deal with this as a human race? Seriously, how do we deal with this? I left things off of this list, the Russian hacking and Brexit and just crazy news. Scotland wants to separate this week. I mean, it's crazy. The stuff that's going on with China and Russia, what they want to do, they want to gang up and Russia throwing nuclear missiles on the NATO border. The news is crazy. I don't know I just don't know. Can't we just take a day off? Can't we? Can't we just take a day off? A day off. Think about it. If I were president of the world, the first thing I would do, I'd make weed legal. I don't smoke weed now, but if I was president of the world, weed legal. But the second thing that I would do, I'd make weed legal. I would make everybody in Washington smoke weed once. That's what I would do. That would be my law. Putin, I think, smokes weed, so he doesn't count. But anyway, if I were president of the world, I would have a no news day. Or I would have a no news week. Let's take it a step further. No news day would be pretty cool. But what about a no news week? Seriously, think about it. Think about what I am saying. I would have every single country in the world absolutely take off a day of the bad stuff. That's what I would do if I was king of the world. Think about it. Don't attack anybody. Don't attack any country. You can't shoot anyone. No bombings allowed. Remember in the Peanuts, no dogs allowed? No dogs allowed. I'd have no bombings allowed. No testing of missiles or nuclear warheads. Cops can't shoot, take away their bullets. We can't shoot the cops. A day of no telling a lie or lie about someone, post something at somebody, hack into, rob, murder, or crash or sink or explode anything. Think about it. For a day. Just a day of peace, of nothing, of no news. No stock trading, no depressing stuff about oil supplies and cutoffs and increases and more oil is bad, less oil is bad, money trading, bonds, stocks, inflation news. Take a day off. A day off of banks stealing or defrauding. Think about it. A day off, man. No politicians. No politician talk on TV for a day. A day off of corruption. Political corruption, police corruption, mafia corruption, drug dealing, shoplifting. How about a day off of drunk driving? Just a day off. A day off, no prison breaks, no creepy clowns. I mean, think about it. What a paradigm shift this planet would have. No Kim Jong-un for a day. Just a day. Give me a day, 24 hours. Think about it. No Donald for a day. No Hillary for a day. No polls. No news. God, I'm so sick of polls. I'm just so sick of them. Over at the house, we've shut off the satellite feed to our home. Okay, we did it. We cut the umbilical cord. Well, the invisible one. We did it. And we run with Fire Sticks now, thanks to Lori McDonald and her tip. And you remember that. That was like 3 months ago, right? Well, that was it. Did our little run of investigating and checking things out, and Fire Stick was the way to go. That's for us, you know, and every room in the house now's got Fire Stick. And that's what we did. And life is good. We got Sling TV. And we got Sling TV last week so I could check out the series The Americans, which, by the way, is pretty good. It's pretty bleeping amazing, The Americans. And just finished season 1, by the way. And so we get Sling TV. And Sling TV has got, like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 channels on it. You know, who cares? Whatever. And, you know, I was just using it for effects, right, for The Americans. We're watching other stuff right now. And so anyway, and trying to get some cool documentaries in, and the ability to have YouTube, you know, is pretty bleeping cool. So anyway, we got Sling TV. And today I see CNN Live on the channel list. Right? And it's right there. And it's been so long. But yes, I clicked. And I haven't watched CNN except for the debate on Sunday with Rita. I haven't watched CNN or any other news network for almost 2 months. And I didn't want to click. I didn't want to. Shouldn't have, but I did. Okay. All right. Holy crap. What a depressing bowl of, well, I mean, actually, a full bowl of crap. I want to use another word here. It was unbelievable. And I watched today for about 45 minutes. I got my fill. Regretted every minute of it. 45 minutes of Hillary, Donald, Michelle, Bill, Donald, Hillary, Michelle, Donald, Bill, Hillary, or New York Times. Hillary, Donald, Bill. He lied, she lied, he said, she said. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit. And it just reminded me, this is just too much. All of this. What a depressing world we live in, man. And I had forgotten about all of it. You know, and the thing is, when we prep for this show, and it was especially back in the sportscasting days, where I was studying the news all the time. News. Man, I had the news running in here in the bunker and just news and reporting and stuff. And it was just so depressing. And I talk about it all the time. And so now I need to practice what I preach. We go and we disconnect. We cut the umbilical. Life is good. We prep for this show. I read the news and I get the news, Renee and others, just sending me really cool stories and just in a good mood, writing and just disconnected. Life is good, right? And I went and did it, and I didn't want to, and I knew that I shouldn't have, but I did. And it sucked. It just reminds me so much of why this country is so divided and so bitter right now with everything that they are seeing. And I just think about, I heard Donald say this today. I heard him use the word cabal running the world. And I'm just thinking to myself, what is he watching? Who is he listening to go and drop that? Where is his mindset at? And then that is exactly what we're watching with the news feed. Right? That's it. It was just like, this is insanity. It's insanity. I just don't want to do it ever again. Man, if I never see Bill O'Reilly or Anderson Cooper's smug faces, either one of them, man, Kelly, what's her name? Kelly Ripa? Not Kelly Ripa. It's a bad joke. Megyn Kelly. Sean Hannity. Please. Oh, my God. Wolf Blitzer. Oh, man. That chick that represents Trump that's on CNN. Oh, my God. I would go to jail. I would. This is Fade to Black. When I come back, the one and only Jon Rappoport. I did, man. I threw up in my mouth a little bit. I did a little. It came up. It went into my nose. I had to, suck it back down. I threw up in my mouth. Disgusting. CNN, Fox, MSNBC. That is the apocalypse. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Jimmy at jimmychurchradio.com is the email. Jon Rappoport on deck and his No More Fake Newsroom. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. What's up, revolutionaries? It's me, Jimmy Church. Do you have an IRS or state tax issue? Well, I did, and I called national tax experts. My problems were fixed, done, fini, and man, I got to tell you, it was a relief. National Tax Experts are a recognized tax office that services clients in all 50 states. Doesn't matter where you live. Give them a call. I'm telling you, they take the time to understand each and every client's individual financial status as well as their financial goals. And that's exactly what you need, my brother, when you're taking on the evil three-letter. So, seriously, give them a call today at 1-877-909-5444. Again, 1-877-909-5444. Or go check out their website, www.nattaxexperts.com. That's NATTAXEXPERTS.com. Tell them Jimmy sent you.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fadernauts rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true. That the world, as it is fed to us every single day by the Ministry of Truth, is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All of the screens crash. They all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots. No more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Is a book that I strongly recommend that you get and read by Patrick M. Wood. The Trojan Horse of Global Transformation. We want to talk about the future tonight. And in this book, he quotes Zbigniew Brzezinski, who is the right-hand man of David Rockefeller, founder of the Trilateral Commission. And I want you to listen very carefully to this quote from Brzezinski's book, Between Two Ages, written many years ago, talking about the new era, the new time. Involves the gradual appearance of a more controlled and directed society. Such a society would be dominated by the elite whose claim to political power would rest on allegedly superior scientific know-how, unhindered by the restraints of traditional liberal values. This elite would not hesitate, here's the key, to achieve its political ends by using the latest modern technologies for influencing public behavior and keeping society under close surveillance and control. So what we're talking about here, folks, is something beyond a republic, beyond democracy, beyond socialism, beyond communism, beyond fascism in traditional terms. What we're talking about is a machine civilization. And if you listened closely to that quote, you know that what we're really talking about here is mind control, because that's what Brzezinski's talking about. The latest modern technology for influencing public behavior. This is where the trilateralists and the Council on Foreign Relations and the Bilderbergs and other secret societies and the Rockefeller globalists in general are really heading. And Brzezinski showed the way 30, 40 years ago with his book. Rockefeller became very interested in Brzezinski and brought him on as his intellectual front man. And this is the brave new world. To be able to program people so that they simply accept their lot in life, whatever that assigned lot is. That is really the raw, brutal definition of technocracy. That's where it's going. And we have to understand that, and we have to wake up to it. And this is what Patrick Wood points out in his book. He has to point this out because this is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is what's coming up in the future. Huxley, of course, Aldous Huxley wrote about this in 1932. 1932 was the date of his novel Brave New World. What was he talking about? He was looking up the road into the future to the year 2045. And what he was seeing was a society caste system based upon programming, because there were no more natural births. So everything was artificial in a laboratory, in a factory. And the lower castes were programmed heavily to be birthed as babies synthetically so that they would have low IQs, easy to please, easy to remain contented with their lot in life. And the upper caste would be more naturally birthed, but still synthetically. But they too would be programmed from birth to accept the world state such as it is, where work as we understand it is really on the way out, not necessary. Society is mechanical. Society produces its multiple goods and services by machine, basically, by robots. People have much leisure time, but they are programmed to accept things as they are. A lot of people today would accept this idea. I don't have to work and I can survive and goods and services are plentiful. What's the problem? I accept. I go nowhere. I do whatever I want to do. It's fine. It's wonderful. A lot of people would already be on board with that. But the catch is, you see, that people through mind control technologies, genetic breeding, what Huxley called hypnagogic learning, which is sleep learning through hypnotism, everyone is programmed to not be able to resist, to be able to think independently. That's a specific of the Brave New World. Not to initiate action, not to be able to outside the box, not to be able to think independently, not to be able to want something beyond what you are given. So it looks fine, it looks good, but there it is. Now, many people accepted this novel at the beginning as science fiction. It's maintained its status as a great science fiction novel. However, more and more people for the last, let's say, 30, 40 years have begun to look at it as not only a prediction, but a good prediction about where we are actually headed. Technocracy is where the globalists ultimately want to go. Sometimes, I feel like I'm talking from the wilderness. I feel like I'm talking from deep in space or right here. And people are saying, yeah, sure, we know about that. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But is it really getting through that this is not science fiction? That this is actually where the society is heading? For example, stop and think about these very crude antidepressants that were introduced 30, 40 years ago. Prozac was the first, Zoloft, Paxil, etc. These were specifically designed to be mood modulators to alleviate depression. And they were supposedly breakthrough drugs because they altered the output of brain neurotransmitter systems in the brain, brain chemistry. Now, they're an abject failure, and I've gone over that on many occasions and so forth, but that was the intention. Well, let's make people feel happy no matter what's happening to them. Isn't that a great solution? That's Brave New World at the crude foothills. At the crude foothills. But the kind of mind control technology that Huxley is talking about and Brzezinski is hinting at, these would ultimately be ironclad. And if you remember the novel, when nothing else works, you go to the local infirmary, the local pharmacy, and you get a dose of a drug called Soma, S-O-M-A. And Soma relieves whatever tension, whatever anxiety one may be feeling, and puts them on Happy Island long enough so that the programming kicks in again and everything is just fine. That's the ultimate backup. Now, the upside, supposedly, of all of this in Brave New World, again, if you remember, is this is not a society built on the kind of brutal, overt coercion that we find in Orwell's 1984. This is after that. This is programming assisted by the pleasure quotient. In other words, everyone is given tremendous pleasure in terms of, first of all, there's no marriage, so there is complete free love, free sex, orgies, etc., etc. Everything is sensuality, pleasure, but at the gross level of the senses. Certainly not of the intellect, certainly not of the mind, certainly not of the imagination. All of that is ruled out, programmed out. It's a world of physical pleasure. That's the ultimate payoff and the reward. It's saying to citizens, you see, if you go along, and of course you will, this is what you get. How do you like that? And again, look around you. How many people would be willing to go for that these days, right now, if that's what you offer them? We'll want an island of unlimited physical pleasure, and that's your life. That's the past, present, and future of your life. That's what it is. And you can have it without guilt, without remorse. We say. We're already in that direction, is the point that I'm making, because many people would sign on for that in a second, given their life circumstances now. Sure, where do I sign up? Pack my bag, I'm ready to go. Let's hit it. Fantastic. This is the world that I want. This is what I've been hoping for. Something better than television, something better than ice cream? Yeah, sign me up. The human race is being brought along in order to make Brave New World actually happen, actually a reality. All these research labs around the world that are studying gene structure and genetics and so forth, it's all about that ultimately. How can we reprogram DNA so that either at birth or before birth or after birth, we can program people to be adjusted to the kind of society that we, the technocrats, are creating? That's the magic. That's the idea. That's where they're heading. Why? Because it's easier if they can pull it off. It's easier than trying to corral 9 billion people of the type of people who exist now in the world and get them to all obey, give in, surrender, stop fighting, and just be part of the show. It's a lot easier, may take longer, but that's where it's heading. Brave New World. A scientific paradise. Huxley originally intended it as a parody of other utopian novels of the time. But the more he got into it, he said, I'm really getting fascinated by my own ideas here. And so I want to paint the complete picture of how this would be done and what this would look like. And in the novel, there are certain areas of the world that are not under the control of the world state, and they are called the savage areas. And in these areas, people roam free, all kinds of people, some of whom have been exiled from Brave New World because they're just too difficult to program as individuals, and they're kicked out. They resist. And if you are one of those people and you can't be brought under heel by chemicals, by genetic programming, by hypnotic learning, et cetera, that's where they send you. And they pay no attention to you. What's going on in these savage areas, the world state is not interested in, doesn't care a whit, as long as those people can't get into the world state and they have means to prevent that from happening. Imagine a very wild area somewhere in the Canadian wilderness, for example, ringed by a huge electronic fence that would not permit exit. So there's savage areas. And that goes along with the technocratic idea as well. Yes, well, we can certainly have those areas, sure. But in the cities, in the towns, and so forth. What the globalists are building as centralized control, and we see that everywhere. We don't want nation states anymore. That's all outmoded. We want regional areas like the European Union. And we want to tie these regional areas together as one planet under one global management system by us, the globalist elites. And we decide who gets what. Yeah, that's the easiest way to put it. Who gets energy, who doesn't? Who gets food, who doesn't? Who gets water, who doesn't? We are the main distribution point and decider in all of these things. And we're building this up so that the ultimate world government has a tremendous amount of control. But you see, again, this is just the prep job. This is just the foothills. This is just the beginning. This is just the prelude, because technocracy is really the end game. This is just, okay, we need to establish some crude parameters of control here over the population in various ways, and we have many ways now that we use to do this, and I've spoken about these ways on this show and in my writing. But then we switch gears. It's all about technology. It's all about Brave New World. It is many science fiction novels that you have read. That's what it is. Only it's real. Only they're serious. It isn't just entertaining literature. They're actually moving in this direction. And you can see the signs. I mean, tinkering with DNA all over the place, extensive brain research in many labs all over the world. DARPA, the research arm of the Pentagon, for example, has many mind control projects in operation, presumably under the rubric of, well, we're trying to create the superior soldier, but that's not really it. In the long run, for example, one of their projects is developing the ability to insert images directly into the cerebral cortex, the visual centers, bypassing the normal channels of perception, so that they can get you to actually see what they need to see. That is a project already underway at DARPA. All of these vectors, you have to recognize, are building toward the picture I'm painting here of the technocratic society, the programmed society. And Patrick Wood does an estimable job in his book, Technocracy Rising, subtitled The Trojan Horse of Global Transformation. He began, and he still is, a researcher on the Trilateral Commission, headed up by David Rockefeller and Zbigniew Brzezinski. But at some point he realized, wait a minute, let me go back and read Brzezinski's book, Between Two Ages. Let me see what he was really talking about. Did he actually talk about technocracy? Yes, he did. Indeed, he did. Specifically, as you can see in the quote that I read to you at the top here. This is the intention. And Wood recognized it, and he is now full bore researching this area to bring more substance to it for readers. He details the history of technocracy, how it goes very far back, if you want to trace it, into the 19th century and even earlier. And key figures in forming technocratic groups in the United States and other countries early in the 20th century. The dream, the utopian dream, and the way it is portrayed and displayed for the public, of course, is no more starvation, no more poverty, no more war, no more conflicts, no more secret alliances, no more mass suffering anywhere inside the world state. That's the way it's portrayed. That's the way it's pictured. That's the way it's sold. But see, there's just one catch. In order for this to play, we have to program you and your descendants to the hilt, except really after a certain point, they won't be your descendants at all, because we're not going to have husbands and wives, and we're not going to have families, and we're not going to have natural birth. It's all going to be synthetically done in labs. And you will be programmed, as in Brave New World, to live to the age of 60 happily, and then you will expire. And that'll be the end of you, they say. That's what comes in behind the cell job. That's where they're going. Understand that, and therefore understand the value, the necessity of maintaining freedom in this world. How freedom is now shaped. It doesn't change its ultimate meaning for the individual, but it takes on new urgency and coloration in view of what the technocrats are actually planning. that is my report for tonight. I'm sorry we had this little technical glitch at the beginning. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear the show. Didn't think I was on, but I was. So we come to the end. I thank you, Jimmy, as always, and everybody out there. I look forward to these reports every Thursday, and I will see you next week.
Thank you so much, John. Absolutely amazing. Brave New World. That's what I'm talking about. Jon Rappoport. This is Fade to Black. It's Fader Night, Thursday night. Open lines. 323-825-5045. Opening up the phone lines now. 323-825-5045. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
And you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
Angioprim can unclog blocked arteries and improve blood flow in all parts of your body. Angioprim is oral chelation. Easy, simple, liquid oral chelation. You take it with juice before breakfast and forget about it. Angioprim works fast, unlike old-fashioned chelation that takes hours. Just log on to angioprim.com. That's Angioprim, ANGIOPRIM, angioprim.com. Angioprim users say they have more energy, more strength, more endurance. Increased circulation and blood flow will make all your body parts work better. Log on to angioprim.com to get more information on how you can get started and start feeling better, having fun, and doing more again. Lots more. Talk to a trained Angioprim consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. That's 877-882-7221. Or log on for complete information. Angioprim.com. That's Angioprim.com. Find out how Angioprim can work for you. Get the facts about Angioprim at Angioprim.com.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We're of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fader Night, open lines, 323-825-5045. Are we too connected? Huxley, Brave New World. You know, are we too connected now? Are we just too connected? I remember back in the days when it was message boards and AOL 1.0, and I talk about that often, but I remember back in those days. And I just had that vision in my brain about the world being connected and all of the information just jumping onto this information highway and being able to access libraries and artwork. And I found a couple of very early on, they're still out there and they're more complex today, but high-res images of famous artwork, right? And I would go and look and open that stuff up and being able to tour at sculptures and things and looking at stuff like that and architecture, right? Believe it or not, right? For me, it was another thing. And of course, UFOs and conspiracy theory and going out there and finding, Paranet was the big message board of the day, 1995, 94, 95. And it was that part of it was exciting to me. And I remember shortly after that, 95, 96, and getting DirecTV, right? Oh, man, with, 500 channels, whatever it was just insane. And being able to do that, I just thought there's not that much time in the day to do everything that I want to do in a day. I want to surf the net. I want to watch a movie. I need to get some sleep. I want to research. I want to look at documentaries on television. I want to do this on the net. And it got to the point where back then, and I'm sure I was just like so many others, I set up a home office in my living room in front of my TV where I would have the internet going on one side and DirecTV going on the other. And I started that information overload, back 20 years ago in my own little primitive way, right? And, of course, I had a cell phone back then, but that wasn't, but that, without that smartphone internet thing, but still now all of a sudden I had a cell phone on my hip so I could call and take calls everywhere that I went. And eventually things started to get more and more connected to the point where it is today. And today it goes without saying when we talk about texting and Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter, these so many different ways to constantly, instantly, absolutely be connected to the world. You cannot escape anybody, and nobody can escape you. And then you throw in the other stuff, the news, music, streaming. And it's constant. It's a constant connection. There is. I've read so many reports lately, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. 323-825-5045. That a cell phone is a smartphone is an instrument to trip off all of these chemicals in your brain that are makes your cell phone as addicting as opiates, morphine, heroin. It's like that. I mean, how often do you see people come in, sit down, and take out their cell phone and look at it? Right? I mean, how often do you see that? Kids, cell phone, immediately. Just turn around and just, no matter what, come in the house, shake hands, cell phones come out. It's like instantaneous. You get in a car, cell phone out. Walking down the street, walk down a street and just look, and everybody is looking at their cell phones. This is Brave New World. This is 1984. This is where we are at today. And I'm just not so sure, anymore. All right. Maria wants to be up first from Sweden. Maria, good evening.
Hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. A little tired, but good.
How connected are you? Do you go out? I mean, when you're out, is your cell phone in your hand when you walk?
No.
Are you lying?
No.
Are you texting right now as you talk to me?
No, I'm not.
Are you tweeting right now as you talk to me?
Well, I'm not tweeting, but I am looking at Twitter.
Yeah, see? Can't stop.
Because I'm supposed to. You told me to.
No. See, and I mean, how did we get here? How did we get to this point where, I mean, if you even thought about this in 1985, that you
I
would
have
be
never thought of this
right.
in 1985.
That's right. And if somebody had told you, you're going to be texting and tweeting on one screen, and you're going to be talking to a radio host in another country, and at the same time, and you're going to be surfing the net, all at the same time while you are doing, you'd be like, no. And then at the very same time, sitting next to all of this gadgetry is a tablet, is a smartphone that's got the internet where you can stream the news or a movie, so now when you ride on the bus, you can watch The Godfather while you're going to work. You would have said, no way.
Exactly.
But here we are. Is it too much? Is it?
Well, in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I think it's a bit too much because we get too involved with it. Like you said, people walking around staring at their phones while they're walking. That's crazy.
And then we have the other side. Let me give you the
other side of it is that nowadays you can't get away with anything. And I like that part.
You like that part?
In other words, this election is crazy, but take this election, for example. Your lies you're called on them a lot quicker.
Yeah, but what if you, Maria, you're sitting in a restaurant and you don't think anybody is looking and you pick your nose, right? Now that's periscoped. It's live. There's a live Facebook feed, right?
Should you be picking your nose in a restaurant?
Or whatever, whatever.
I mean, it's you got to realize that you don't have your private time anymore. Nothing's private when you're out there.
The stuff that happened with Billy Bush, right?
Right.
And Trump, that is something that everybody should know about. When you're in the media, when you're doing television and film, you are wired for sound. Okay, so you are wired, and it is live all of the time. And I'm very cognizant of that. Right. I will. I do a lot of television, and I'm walking around, and I'm wired. I'm wired for sound, and I know that stuff is rolling all the time.
Absolutely,
right?
You'd be crazy to think otherwise.
So and I'll turn it off. I'll actually go. Most people, don't do that, but obviously Donald got caught. But I'll give you another example. I'm trying to think of his name. It doesn't matter. The guy out of New York whose dad owned all the skyscrapers in New York, and he just got busted. He was a serial killer over the years. Killed somebody down in, it was like Florida or New Orleans or Texas. It was Texas. Killed somebody here in L.A. And
I don't remember.
HBO did a special on this, right? Last year, and it was a documentary series. And he went to the bathroom with his microphone on, and he's in the bathroom talking to himself and admitting to the crime, right? But it's live.
What?
And so it gets recorded, and he's saying to himself, whatever. When he admitted to the crimes. But you need to know that stuff is live. So Donald, I'm not going to give Donald a pass card on this like it was he got caught with a cell phone camera saying this stuff, and that's modern technology. Okay, I get that. But he just got caught.
Absolutely.
He was wired with a microphone, and he said what he said, and that's it. So, but I'll give you the example of what I was talking about earlier about the news. So this Billy Bush thing Okay, he was wired for sound, whatever. Okay, all right, he got caught. But the Billy Bush thing turned into this thing that was on any format, whether it was on the internet, on websites, if it was on audio, if it was on the radio in your car, if the CNN, MSNBC, Fox, RT, BBC, Sky News, this was a thing, and it still hasn't gone away, right? It still hasn't ended. But this got bombed to us at the same time where Hurricane Matthew was going down, right? That's happening. Syria is happening. Russia and the United States and WikiLeaks and hacking is all going on at the same time. And Donald, these are lies. It's not. New York Times, this, blah, blah. And it was all part of this matrix of flooding of news over this last week. That was
it's
gnarly.
overwhelming.
Gnarly. I mean, it was
absolutely. I got sick.
It was a gnarly week. Not to say that the week before that was any different, or the week before
it's been
that.
This way for a month.
Yeah. Certainly, it's definitely the rhetoric has heated up, but the news and everything that and throw into that Wells Fargo. I could keep going. There were so many other little news things that were depressing and big that were all part of this last week. I would
take this into consideration. Maybe the news is overwhelming, but we didn't have this much news before because we didn't have this technology before. It was the same amount of news. We just weren't hearing it all. Now you can't escape it.
No, you can't. You cannot. And I mean, walk into a mall or walk through an airport or go somewhere in public or go into a shoe store. Just pick your choice. And there's a TV on with a news feed in the background. Go to the hair salon. You know what I mean? There it is.
Right.
Back in the day, that stuff wasn't there. They were maybe playing music, right? In the background.
You could remove yourself from it. But now it's a little bit more difficult to do that.
Yeah, like I said, you're listening to the news in your car. You get out of your car and you're walking somewhere, and it's just like, I'm disconnected. I've got to check my cell phone. I got to, you want to walk by something so you can see the news in the background. It's insane. And they've really turned it into that. So, hey, Maria, thank you so much. Let me get to some phone calls. But I'm sorry you guys missed us last night, but it's all good now.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you so much, Maria.
All righty.
Bye-bye. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy the man, sir. When you was speaking, when you were talking about Sammy Hagar and Van Halen earlier,
yep,
it kind of just had a thought, and I just was wondering your thoughts and opinion. I'm kind of a late bloomer to like the UFOs and exopolitics and heavy metal. You're familiar with Iron Maiden?
Okay. What about Iron Maiden?
Are you familiar with their works?
Oh, of course. Love Iron Maiden. Are you kidding me? Love Iron Maiden. There isn't, what's, okay, I'm going to let you finish, but let me just say this. Back in the day, I didn't get Iron Maiden, 82, 83, right? And I didn't get it. The last 20 years of my life, 1995 to now, I get the Maiden. Right. Any documentary, any concert, any song, I am right there. So anyway, Iron Maiden doesn't have a weak link in the band. They don't have a weak link in that band. That band is strong. And they have the songs to go along with it, So, no, I love the Maiden, man. And you know what? Who wouldn't love, to have your lead singer be the pilot on your plane? I mean, how cool? Right. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, so back to the Maiden. What's your question?
Since I'm kind of new to it and going through their albums, I think they had to have been plugged in or in contact with aliens and ETs. Because if you look at their album covers, like, you know, Power Slave with the pyramid,
yeah, man.
You know, Final Frontier with the aliens, with the brain, and what else? I mean, they were just plugged in, you know. And obviously, my favorite, Number of the Beast, you know, just.
Yeah, and if you look, if you remember, I totally agree with you. But if you also remember the tour from 4 years ago, their whole set was Egyptian. The whole set, it was giant hieroglyphs and going across the stage, and they had, you know,
Jimmy Church again.
Oh, what's that? Okay, caller, if you're on hold, stay right there. We'll get to you. But the Eye of Horus, and it was just too much, man. So,
I mean,
yeah.
How did they know all that stuff? Like, you know, back then, you know, it's just like they kind of predicted the future in a sense.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Bruce Dickinson was such a visionary with his song titles, man. And Harris, and he was, you know, is a bass player, but he produced everything and co-wrote so many songs too as well. So I think that's where that vision kind of came from. But do I have any official stuff? Have I talked to Bruce about that? No. Have I talked to Steve Harris about that? No. But that's a really good point. We should maybe get those guys on the show and find out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, man. Thank you for the phone call.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Have a great night. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, Kevin in Gulf Breeze, Florida.
Hey, Kevin
in
Gulf.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had a hot mic like Trump.
Gulf.
Hey, man, two things. I really, one thing, I really enjoyed bringing up the Kubrick's Odyssey discussion with Russ Emanuel last week. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Great film. Two things, though. Tool, one of my favorite bands, just got to see them in January. Their album 10,000 Days opens with the song Vicarious, and the lead singer Maynard really touches on the fact that we feed off of news, you know, to some extent. There's like this, you know, maybe it's an unconscious drive to not be where we are and be in the present moment, and we totally feed off of it in some sense, kind of like a vampire, not necessarily malevolent, but you know, just that energy that we're attracted to, because it's not us, it's at a distance. You know, I can definitely relate, though.
Yeah, and Tool was another, you know, especially here in L.A., one of their early members was a really good friend of mine, Paul D'Amour. And hanging out with him, I mean, we were, you know, pretty good friends back in the day. And I really enjoyed hanging out with him. And back then, when those first videos came out, you remember with the animatronic, oh man, I can't remember that huge hit that had the skeleton dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Not off the top of my head. Was it on the album Undertow? Probably like the early album. I'm 28. So.
Okay, it was their first two albums. So
Undertow, I think.
Yeah, man, I can't. Undertow. That album, Undertow. But anyway.
You know Adam and Danny Terry? I know Adam does a lot of graphic design and film work. And
yeah. All of those guys, Adam, Danny, Maynard, Justin too, but all those guys are all L.A. dudes, man. And Tool was an L.A. band, and to see them go and take off like they did, because if you were in L.A. during that era, Tool was a big part of what was happening back then. And man, I remember Paul. Man, Paul lived on like, man, I wonder if he's listening right now. He lived in an apartment over like on Gardner and Sunset. And when they were in there, you know, that first album taking off, and he just lived in that apartment, man, right behind 7-Eleven. And so anyway, I've been into Tool ever since, and I think that's another band that has always had a vision of society, and a dark vision of it. I just think they're a tremendous band. Let me ask you this, though.
They go way deep, man.
They do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're in Gulf Breeze. You're 28. Do you know that you live in one of the craziest UFO hotspots ever in the known universe?
Well, that's why I kind of, bring it up every time I call. Yeah, I've seen some stuff, and a lot of TR-3Bs that a lot of people see around here, which I'm pretty sure are from Hurlburt, which is a special ops base. And I get a very mechanical vibe from them. I don't think it's like a orb, like a light craft of some sort. I think it's one of ours. But when I was in Asheville, I had a really great experience with what I felt to be personally sort of benevolent orb, and there were 5 other people there with me. And I kind of felt like it's what David Sereda described as a throne.
Right.
Or maybe it was some kind of Merkaba or chariot, but it didn't feel like a machine, though. But yeah, I've actually got a friend whose dad knows Ed Walters, who had the famous UFO that I still don't know if that was debunked or not, but I know that they've talked about the models that he had and everything. But what are some of your favorite Gulf Breeze stories?
Well, see, for me, I remember. Did you say your dad knew Ed?
My buddy's dad.
Okay, knew Ed. All right, that's interesting. Well, back in the day, now I'm going to have to say this was 1985, and I could be wrong here, but I remember the era and where I was in Pasadena, California. And the pictures started to pop up from Gulf Breeze. And we're talking about it on the front page of every newspaper and magazine. And it really, really took off that summer. And I thought, this is pretty nutty stuff. And it was an exciting time. And now what I know today about Ed Walters, it's, he had a lot of people behind him scientifically, that was Bruce Maccabee and so forth, that was looking at these, and the stereo images too as well, because he was shooting stuff in stereo with 2 cameras that backed stuff up, and it seemed like it was pretty legit. But then Ed got caught, man, and I think he sold his house, right? And the new people that moved into the house, like above the garage, they found the model, man. It was in the attic.
That's right. Yeah.
It was like, no, it's killing me. But there it was, So I don't know. Some of the stuff was pretty amazing. But then, see, this is the other part of Gulf Breeze. You had that part with Ed Walters and the possibility of him hoaxing everything and building models and going out with his Polaroid camera and doing these double exposures. That was how he got it done. Allegedly, I should say. I don't know Ed. I've never talked to him. But there were other sightings that were going on at the same time. And there's other video of stuff out there over the Gulf that are pretty compelling. And it also continues to this day. Like you just said, you've seen your black triangles. There's a lot of military stuff that's going on there, too. Could that be it?
A lot.
Yes.
A lot. There's
yes.
NAS, there's Eglin Air Force, the largest geographical Air Force base that we have. And then there's Hurlburt, the Spec Ops. So, and then there's the Gulf of Mexico in general. Maybe there's some USOs or something. Can I shift gears for just 1 second before you take another call?
We're gonna take a break in 60 seconds, so go ahead.
Okay, I'll make it quick, man. A Brave New World, the book woke me up, man. I checked it out in high school, and it woke me up just all over. And then, honestly, Alex Jones's film Endgame, that came out that same year that I graduated, touches on, towards the end, Huxley being related to Julian Huxley, who founded UNESCO and all these weird eugenics, elite Darwinian families and everything. And, one thing I'll say is I think that's Jones's best work. I know he gets into the fear-mongering. He's in, such a spotlight. And, it gets annoying because he kind of gives investigators a bad rap. But I will say, like, I think the guy is genuine. I just, I think he gets a little too theatrical. But anyways, A Brave New World, man, that book woke me up because I saw it all happening in front of me. Dubstep and ecstasy and soma, and I mean, people not wanting to have a family. It's really bizarre. But Jon's right, man. It's all coming down the pike, and they write about it. The technocrats are so arrogant. They write about it, and they think we don't read their books.
Well, the crazy thing, and thank you for that, Kevin, the crazy thing about A Brave New World, when you read it, I've read it a few times. I used to have that like sitting on my coffee table so people would come over and see it just to cause conversation. But is 1930, 31, 32, 33, think about when it was written. That's the trippy thing about A Brave New World. It's a great read. It is, and it is fascinating. Now, and then you got to just think back to 1932. 1932. That's insane to me. Thank you so much, Kevin, for the phone call.
He does compare it, real quick, he does compare it to 1984 and says, I think we'll get people to love their servitude in A Brave New World.
Yeah.
Huxley's on tape saying that's creepy. But anyways, thank you so much for your show, and thanks for the time, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Open lines all night long, 323-825-5045. Maria, I didn't know. I didn't know. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to healthforliberty.com right now. That's healthforliberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Open lines, Thursday night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 323-825-5045. You know what I would, so yeah, if I was king of the world, no news for a day, and nobody can do bad things for a day. Everybody, we just take a day off of the bad stuff, 24 straight hours. I suppose if I was king of the world. I could stretch that out for a week. Just imagine that. Are we just too connected to the news? Because when I was talking with Maria earlier, and she had a Mandela effect story but we spent 15 minutes talking about the connection of the world that we didn't get to her Mandela effect story. Man, I kind of want to hear it. Is that through all of that stuff that was going down over the last 7 days, we had that Wells Fargo stuff. Now, Wells Fargo, their CEO, John Stump. Oh, Rita's telling me I have to have Maria call back or I don't get to eat tonight after the show. Really? Okay. All right. If you're on hold, you're going to stay right there because I'm going to bring Maria back in at the head of the line. All right. We'll work for food. But she can't take my coffee away. She can't take away my River Moon because I've already got that in here in the bunker. All right. So anyway, Wells Fargo CEO John Stump. Yeah, that River Moon is off the hook. Wells Fargo CEO John Stump is going to retire effective immediately. The company announced yesterday. It is truly the final stunning downfall of one of the banking industry's most powerful figures and criminals. The Wells Fargo boss is out, and there was an uproar, and I get that. It erupted after regulators accused the bank of creating more than 2 million fake bank and credit card accounts. Company admitted to firing 5,300 workers over the last several years. Stump made the decision to retire instead of getting fired, which was welcomed by the board as they announced it. Stump's next stop should be prison. And that's the part of the news that I don't mind hearing, is that a guy like that's going to jail. And the other thing, if I was king of the world, I would have, I'm serious too, I would have a 24-hour good news channel. Just good news. Good news. Happy news. There's cool things out there to talk about. Think about that. That's what I would do, man. And I don't want to sound like I'm on drugs, and I don't want to sound like I've lost my mind. But just like this 24-hour negative news cycle, the fear news, how that is changing our body chemistry and our brain chemistry and how we think and act and treat our family and our friends, all that negativity, right? Just think about that. I know I sound like I've lost my mind. But, and then you have things like this. Russia's electronic warfare equipment producer, they're called Radio Electronic Technologies Concern, launched tests of a tactical electromagnetic combat complex fully integrated with the latest air defense systems. It guarantees complete neutralization of all enemy electronics, all the way to the stars. Factory testing is underway right now for components of the new system capable of protecting troops and civilian facilities from air and space attacks. The tests are expected to be completed by the end of this year. The same company is rolling out a new jammer that would render enemy precision weapons useless by suppressing their guidance systems, including those relying on satellite signals. The new jammer currently in development would have to be ground-based or aircraft-based or naval variants because no space-based variant would be legal. It would be a violation of international treaties. But do we need that kind of news? I see this, and I'm blown away by it. I am completely freaked out. It's unbelievable. All right. Maria, I've got you back.
Hi.
All right. So the Mandela effect, I'll go there. I'll go
Okay.
there, and
If
I'm
you don't
only
want to go there.
I'm only going there because I don't get fed tonight.
Rita yelled at you.
Yeah, I'm a big dude. When Rita, and everybody knows how she cooks, when Rita says no food, I react. I'm just like my dogs, man. I will react. I will work for food.
Well, I'm feeling a bit of pressure now.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead. Mandela effect.
Yeah, 1984. My sister and I, we were bored, went out to the valley, went to the Topanga Plaza just to kill some time. And we left the mall and we drove up Topanga to Ventura Boulevard. And right there on the corner was a strip mall. And there was a sign out that said, it was like dollar movie or something. It was a Paul Simon's movie playing. Do you remember Paul Simon's movie, One Trick Pony?
Of course.
Okay. So we thought, okay, well, let's check it out. We'll go into the theater and we'll watch this movie. So we did. Not the best movie, but it was fun, good music. And about, I don't know, a little time had gone by, a few months, and we were back in the area and we thought, well, let's check out if they've got another dollar movie. Went to the strip mall, no movie theater. Same strip mall, but there was no movie theater.
Where was this at? 1984.
This is the corner of Topanga and Ventura Boulevard.
Corner of Topanga and Ventura, and that is where the 101 freeway goes right over the top.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Okay. I know that intersection well. Okay, so which corner?
Well, if you're coming off Topanga and you turn left onto Ventura,
Right.
It's there on the left-hand side.
It would be there on the left. And I think right there, I know the strip mall, and I know that there's a mattress store in there too as well. Okay, so yeah, I don't remember. Really?
Yeah.
No, there's no movie theater in there.
Well, I know that now. But I was in a movie theater, and I have a witness that was with me in the movie theater, and we watched that movie.
That was 1984. You sure you weren't doing a little of the...
No, absolutely not, because I was driving.
Yeah, it was still 1984. Everybody did that and drove.
But I was fairly good about that.
Okay.
If I'm driving, I'm not doing stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so a few months later, we went back. There's no movie theater. The strip mall was there. We asked a couple of stores about the movie theater. No one knew what we were talking about, thought we were insane. So then I went to find out. Well,
there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Okay.
So then I went to find out if there was even a movie called One Trick Pony. I'm thinking, well, maybe that wasn't even a movie. I couldn't find it anywhere. But of course, this is before the internet. So my research could only be going to, Target to see if there was a...
well, I remember his album, One Trick Pony.
Right.
Okay.
Do you remember the movie?
I thought he had a live concert movie.
No, it wasn't a live concert movie. It was a movie.
And what was it called?
One Trick Pony.
Okay. So there was a movie called One Trick Pony.
I posted earlier in Twitter the picture of the movie.
Okay.
So now it's saying that there is a movie called One Trick Pony, so I'm not crazy. You can look on the internet and it's there. But now I go back and I look at that corner and there's no strip mall there.
Interesting. Hold on.
Now, of course, they could have torn down the strip mall and built something else, I guess. I don't know. I can't tell if it's an old building that's there now, but it's just a single large building.
Yeah, I'm by that corner all the time, and I'm looking up the movie here, One Trick Pony. Paul Simon, directed by Ray. Blair Brown was in it, and Rip Torn.
Yeah, there was some names in it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, late in the evening from the film soundtrack. Okay. Yes. I totally remember this movie. Yeah, I saw it.
I mean, it wasn't a great movie, but the music was good, and it was $1. I saw it in a theater that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It's
Did you
really
drive up and
weird.
down? Well, see, if you went further up Ventura, another about 2 blocks, if you'd have gone from Topanga to Reseda Boulevard, there's the movie theater complex that is there in between White Oak and Reseda. It's on White Oak.
Is it a big complex?
Yeah. Now that's there.
Yeah, see, this movie theater was like an old-timey movie theater. You walked into the concession stand to buy the ticket, and it was one single theater that maybe held, I don't even know how many people. And I asked my sister, do you remember anyone else in the theater? Because I don't. It was the middle of the day.
Right.
And she said there were other people in the theater. I don't remember anybody. But it was just a small, single, old-timey theater.
Yeah, that's
a ticket booth.
That's something worth checking out. And to go back into the history of that would be, I don't know if that's technically there, if that's Woodland Hills or Reseda, because it's on the dividing line, Topanga, the street.
Right.
So one side's Woodland Hills, the other side's Reseda Boulevard. But to find out on that corner if there ever was, like in the 50s, if there was a movie theater once there and you went through some kind of frigging time warp. Yeah.
That would be trippy. Now, I think we constantly move between timelines.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because I've had too many weird things happen like that I think we actually jump between timelines without even realizing it. I mean, have you ever looked at a picture of yourself and said, that doesn't even look like me? I don't even remember taking that picture.
I do that every day.
I mean, I've run across a couple of pictures of myself. It's like, that's not even me.
Yeah,
It doesn't even look like me, and I don't remember that situation.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I have friends and relatives that, have lived in the Valley since the 50s and 40s. And that's worth asking around. I'm just wondering about that. So the corner, so that would be the northeast corner of Topanga and Ventura Boulevard. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, the northeast corner. Okay.
I don't know how I could check into that, but
well, there's a way, and there's also there's probably a few hundred Google photographs of that corner in the 50s. So
think about how long ago that was, and that is clear in both mine and my sister's mind. It has been with us forever.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is really, really interesting.
Really strange.
But, Ventura Boulevard has played with my mind over the years, too, as well, where I have gone. I remember I went to a sushi restaurant on Ventura Boulevard and went there with some friends back in the early 90s. And I loved the place. And it had this really cool bamboo atmosphere, and it was totally happening. And so I said to Rita, I go, I know this sushi place, right? And we drove all the way up Ventura, and I'm looking on that side of Ventura Boulevard. We drive practically to Hollywood, and we have to turn around, and we're coming back, and we never found, Rita, do you remember that? And we never found that sushi restaurant. We ended up going somewhere else. And I was like,
did it strike you that it was there, or did it strike you maybe you forgot where it was?
No, I lived at that time, I lived on Ventura Boulevard physically,
right.
Lived there for, 15 years.
Right. It wasn't strange to me either. I mean, I spent time in Sherman Oaks. I lived in Sherman Oaks. I lived in Reseda. I lived in Chatsworth. So, I mean, it's not like I was just there for that one instance. I mean, I'm familiar with the area,
Yeah. Like I said, Ventura Boulevard messes with me all the time. It really, really, really does. And restaurants come and go and
Right.
things.
I mean,
but
they tear down things and build new things, and
but that sushi restaurant, I could not believe it, man. Couldn't find if they if I drive down Ventura Boulevard and Casa Vega isn't there, then I know I'm in an alternate reality. No doubt. All right. Thank you for sharing that. So what do you
Thanks.
I'm going to go and see what I can find out about that. All right.
That would be cool.
All right. I'll have something on Monday for sure.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much, Maria.
Thanks.
And that was worth bumping all those other phone calls. Thank you so much, Maria. Ventura Boulevard is a life of its own. I don't know how many miles long it is, but living around the country right now, you have a main street in your town, right? No matter where you live. And it's a couple of miles. Ventura Boulevard goes from Universal Studios on the east end of the valley all the way to past where she's talking about Topanga, and it keeps going. It's got to be 20 miles, 25 miles. I don't know, but it's long. And the entire street on both sides is a never-ending string. Just imagine this now for 25 miles. You could just drive. It'd take you an hour and a half to drive from one end to the other of restaurants and businesses and coffee shops and things and malls for 25 miles. And it's got a life of its own. It's really hard to explain, but there you go. All right, let's go to the phones. Hi, you live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, this is Josh.
Hey, Josh, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Got a new phone, got one of them Note 7s. I hope it don't explode. So
yeah, well, I hear they're shipping now with gloves and fireproof box. Yeah. So what's going on, Josh?
Oh, man, the Mandela effect. All right. You remember Winnie Mandela?
Yes, his ex-wife. Yes.
Okay, now, I thought that, I'm trying to, it's been such a good while back, right? Was he alive and she got caught doing something, and I thought she got executed or sent to joint or something, and I thought he died like in 92, 93.
Right. Well, I just know that they got divorced, right? And and he went to prison. I mean, that's kind of how I remember it. And I can't remember if they got back together after he got out of prison. That's the other thing. I can't remember.
See, I thought they got back together, and then there's something went down, and he held her accountable for some kind of action. And I don't. It's just been so long ago. I just don't remember. But there's things that you see that at first I didn't really buy into it, and more as it goes along, and you see things, it's kind of like there's something to it. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, you should as things happen, write them down. Don't forget them. And then when you call into the show, you can tell us about it. Because I've already stated, my few things with the Mandela effect. We have so many conversations now about it that we'll be sitting around, Rita and I, when we have company over, and start a conversation, just start to bring up things and notice that, 3 or 4 or 5 people sitting at the table all have different memories of the same event, and it's just like, man, I don't know. Is it the Mandela effect? Is it somebody coming back and changing our timelines? Why is it different for some people and not different for others? Things that people would swear by. I mean, swear by. It's bizarre. So, yeah, Josh, definitely when something comes up, just write it down.
I will. Real quick, the CERN, it's an atom smasher. They're seeing, black holes, or what do you buy into that? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I'm going to let you go and listen.
All right. Thank you so much, Josh. When it comes to CERN, look, the original, when we go back to the original ideas and theories behind black holes, right? Everything gets sucked into it and you can't escape it. Light gets sucked into it. That's why they're black holes. And once you get into its grasp and the event horizon, it's all over and it sucks in stars and planets and everything. Everything goes into the black hole and you can't escape it. So when we start talking about creating a black hole here on Earth, artificially on our own, that's the, wait a minute here. Stop. Just stop the bus. Do we need to be messing with that? Back when we were getting ready to do the first atomic bomb testing in New Mexico, the very, very first, we didn't know. And we didn't know what was ultimately going to happen. And there were physicists, there were scientists that were afraid of disintegrating everything. And that was it. It was going to be over. There was going to be an uncontrollable chain reaction, and that would be it. Every atom would affect the next one, and it would be over. And could you imagine if you were one of those scientists or physicists that was on that bandwagon out there witnessing the first test because your nerves and the paranoia, right? Well, it's the same thing with CERN. To me, creating a black hole when I thought that it was supposed to suck in everything. So are we going to see, Switzerland, think about it, disappear, right? Think about that. Do we really need to be messing with it? The going back to John Titor, right, and the dual singularity time machine and the two black holes that were used in his time machine, and that they were able to start to control that. Well, okay, which is what CERN is doing. That is kind of freaking me out. Do we need to actually go there? But on the same part, we have to experiment. We have to go into the zones that we've never been to before. And that goes with anything, goes with absolutely anything. It's all the same thing. So we need CERN. We've got to do it. We have to. And CERN isn't the only complex, by the way, but that's the one that everybody is the most concerned about because they keep dropping those words, man. Black hole. Maria just posted a picture of that corner, and I used to go there all the time because on the far side of the building here on Ventura and Topanga, she's got two. Just go to our Twitter feed and you can see this. The far side is a Michael's arts and crafts store. And I used to go there because they sold metal, die-cast metal car model kits. And I used to go there for those. And paints and brushes and other things because I like to build models. And that was my spot, man, this store right here, which is the rectangular one on the far side. You can see it's Rite Aid over here, but that's a Michael's Arts and Crafts store. And so I would swing off the freeway. You can see it in the background. Remember, I told her that's where the 101 goes over and intersects. So that's the 101 freeway back there. Jump off the freeway, right-hand turn, straight into this parking lot. That was my second home, and Michael's right there, Arts and Crafts. So, but this is new. In 1984, I don't think this was here. I started going there in 95, 96. Very interesting. Thank you for doing that, Maria. I'm going to retweet that so everybody can see it. There you go. All right. Oh, also, really quick, before the break, I finally downloaded this, and I meant to do it forever, but I downloaded for Android on my phone, Star Chart. Have you guys, if you don't have Star Chart on your phone, just download it now. Just look it up, whether you're iPhone or Android, Star Chart, Android, and download the program. What it does once you open it up, and it just, it marks your GPS location wherever you're at, and then you can point your phone, you turn on the program, and you turn on the app, and then wherever you point your phone, you're looking at the exact stars that are in front of you in the sky, and you can hold it up and line it up. And I finally did it, and I'm so excited, man. After the show tonight, I'm going to go outside and look at the constellations. But get yourself Star Chart right now. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. 323-825-5045. And the other thing I would do if I was king of the world, I would have a 24-hour UFO news channel. That's what I would do. I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store. So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fader Night, 323-825-5045. You know, how connected are we? Those cell phones, those smartphones, you know, all that information coming at us. And then last week, And it was Thursday night after the show. Rita and I go out and get some food and go home. And we get home, and our daughter, Deanna, comes home, and she's freaking out. She's out of her mind. I've been calling, emergency. We're like, what are you talking about? Our phones didn't ring. Turned out our cell phone network was down nationwide. Didn't know it. Our phones weren't ringing. As a matter of fact, we were sending text. Hold on, I got to hit this River Moon coffee. Couldn't take calls. Didn't know. Didn't need to make any calls, and we were getting text. We didn't know. But so we go and we check out, we jump on the net, and it's sure enough, it's a nationwide outage. What was going on that night? Hurricane Matthew is landing in Florida. So people are freaking out. And they couldn't. Now, this is the point that is trippy here. We've all disconnected, for the most part, our landlines in our homes. Who's got landlines now? Why would you have them? Everybody's got a cell phone. Not everybody's got a cell phone. Every house has got 5. Right? So what do you need a landline for? Nobody's got them anymore. Why waste the money, right? And I get that. Except get a nationwide outage when we're having a hurricane. Nobody can call their relatives. Nobody can do this or that. And the panic. And what we were reading on the net, everybody trying to, and it lasted for 2 hours. And we had a family emergency that night, and we didn't know about it. And our daughter was trying to get hold of us and couldn't. And our cell phone system that we have with us, our parents are on that plan, and they were shut down too as well. And we didn't know. No landlines. Right? Think about it. And that's just another example of how we've accepted this, that it's okay. Well, let me tell you something. Satellites go down for whatever reason. We got nothing. Nothing. Everything. Man, one solar flare. One thing. We have this magnetic protection around the earth. Anything that is too great and breaks through that and something happens, a couple satellites collide, whatever. We got nothing. We're screwed. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live.
Hello, Paul here, FADERNIGHT, Barbaro.
Hey, Paul, how are you, brother?
Pretty good. I count the hours to when your show comes on because your Egypt show the other day was absolutely stunning. And, I never knew that the Sphinx was a woman, and I never knew that their society was matriarchal. And all that, and it's like, God, I spent years I even studied archaeology, and this never came up. Just amazing.
Paul, I thought you knew all that stuff, man.
I've been so busy with other things that, chasing the buck and paying the bills and, rent and all that.
Right.
These new developments, I just was besides myself. So thank you for bringing the truth to us. This is amazing.
Thank you for that, Paul. And that you're hitting the nail on the head. People come to this show all the time, right, and learn something. It doesn't matter. You may have to spend 3 hours with me to walk away with one little germ of stuff. But if that little germ makes you go on a 6-hour investigation and research trip, right, then it's all worth it. That's what you want to do. And I am in the same boat that you are now, because I'm learning right alongside you, right? We're doing this arm in arm, believe it or not. We're learning together. And one of the things that came out of the Egypt show this week was, I can't say a whole lot, because I can't, but I have a close person that has been having these dreams about the pyramids and walking into a room and the 3 pyramids are there inside of a room, right? But it's a giant room in the pyramids. But they are white, black, and red, right? The pyramids on Giza. So this has been going down. We've been talking about it. And then, so this week on the show, I turn around and I ask Yusuf about that. And he's the guy, right? He's the Egyptologist. He's the dude. And he goes, yeah. Actually, those are the three colors that would match the closest. Yeah, black, black, white, and red. And so then Rita writes Stephen Mailer. And Stephen wrote back today, and he says, black, white, red, black, and white are the colors of ancient Kemet. Red is the desert, directly from the Kemetan word desert. Black, of course, is the livable area of Kemet and the Black Land, and white, purity, and higher consciousness. The original Great Pyramid may have been painted with all three colors. And so this is something that we learned on the show this week. And I had never, with all of my research into Egypt over the years, and it's extensive, man. It's my favorite subject. And Rita will tell you, Paul, you can ask Rita right now. You can tweet her, send her an email, and ask her how many days a week we are studying ancient Egypt. And she's going to tell you 7. Okay, this is what we do. And so this whole red, black, and white thing with the pyramids is something that I had never heard before, and this last couple of weeks with these dreams, and then I bring it up with Yusuf, and then with Stephen Mailer last night, all because of the show. How great is that? I mean, that's why I love doing this show, because I learn right along with you. There isn't a show that goes by that I don't go, whoa.
A lone voice in the wilderness,
Yeah. So what's new with you? What are you working on?
Oh, God. My next 2 books, which I'm supposed to come out by the end of the year, one is on the immune system and how to keep it safe from all the attacks that we're under, junk food and all that. And another one on how to handle millennial children that have absolutely no way in their life, and they, everything's a mystery and all that. And part of it is my healing processes and stuff like that. I'm just feverishly working on these books, trying to get them out by December. And you've written books. It's a project. It's especially when there's a lot of new creative thought that goes into it. But I love being in the zone, so that's what I'm doing right now. By the way, I wanted to make a comment on this, the insanity of this election. People, it's amazing that our educational system has failed us so badly that we can be looking right in the face of insanity and not even see it. You might feel something is wrong, but what's going on is absolutely nuts, and I'm amazed that we are this complacent, complicit, duped. We follow things that are meaningless and I'm just stunned that we can't recognize insanity when we see it.
I don't understand how we have allowed ourselves to get sucked in on both sides of the fence, on both sides of the negativity, and we are so willing to not only compromise, but to ignore and run with blinders on. And
it seems like our moral compass is that lying is okay and dishonesty is okay and just blatant deceit is okay, and that's normal. And it's like, I don't know whose country this is anymore.
Yeah.
I thought,
right.
If we are going to be the greatest country on earth, we have to really turn this ship around.
Well, let me give you an example, and I'm not going to go political. I just want to set an example for everybody how twisted up this whole thing has become. All right? Back when Bill Clinton got impeached, right? I mean, just the Republicans were coming at him hardcore. over the Monica Lewinsky stuff and the dress and the things and the blue dress, and all of that crap, right? And how immoral it was. And it was. I'm not going to say that it wasn't. He's cheated on his wife in the White House, in the Oval Office, smoking a cigar. We all know the stories, right? Those same guys that wanted him kicked out of office today are supporting Trump. And Trump, on tape, is talking about the most degrading things about women. The most absolute degrading things that you can possibly say out of your mouth. Now, he wants to say it's locker room. I don't care. But the point is, he said it, right? But they're okay with that.
He's proud of it.
Right? They're okay with that. Wait a minute. That's the biggest double standard there is. And back in the day when Clinton, I'm not defending Bill Clinton, it was wrong. But I'm just saying the double standard is there. Because back then, Fox was all over, Fox News and Fox Network and Bill O'Reilly and everybody riding Bill Clinton so hard over all of that. And they should have. But today they're cool with Trump. And it's just like, wait a minute, man. How out of control are things now? And and flip it all over to Hillary, too, as well. You can flip it all the way over to everything with her that's going on. It's the same stuff, and it's the same double standard. CNN is okay with Hillary. They will not report on any of the negative stuff about Hillary. They won't do it. They won't. But yet they've done all the negative stuff, the same stuff that Hillary has been accused of. They'll write a Republican so hard, but they'll let it go. And it's the same thing. How can Fox stand on a moral issue? They just fired Ailes, right, for sexual harassment and everything else and lawsuits and everything. And then, but yet they'll support Trump with the stuff that he, not the accusers, not that. Okay, fine, that's just more stuff on the pile. I'm talking about what he said out of his own mouth. That's what I'm talking about. That's it, just right there. How can a religious organization support that? How could, when we're always talking about moral issues here, that's in the past. That was what was wrong with other people. And everybody took the moral high ground. But this time around, it's okay. He gets a pass card. And I don't care if it's Trump or Republican or Democrat. If it was on the other side and somebody else was saying that if it was Democrat, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I am just talking about what was said right there. And I can't imagine, Paul, the husbands and wives across this country that have children, right? How do you let your children listen to those tapes? And that's going to be the leader. So you're telling your kids, right? You're showing your son that it's okay to have that behavior. That's the first thing. And then you're showing your daughter that it's okay for men to talk to you that way because the president can. Right? It's like, wait a minute. Stop the crazy bus here. Just whoa. But we've somehow both with Hillary and with Trump right now the same things. We've got the blinders on. And we've what's the word? We've given up. We've just totally given in. We've just thrown in the towel on this. And everything is okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about your moral character. Doesn't matter how many dead bodies you've got stored in the closet. Nothing matters.
What amazes me is out of 330 million people, those are the two they could pick. It's like, is everyone that? It's like, what about any truck driver, any school teacher, any dog catcher, any manual labor, any trash pickup person, any Native American, it's like, what's wrong with the rest of us?
Yeah. And somebody, I'm not going to say who, but somebody just tweeted, Bill Clinton took twice as many flights on Pedophile Island. Wait a minute. That's exactly it. That's exactly my point. It's just like we are gauging everything right now. Well, it's 30,000 emails, or she lied about this, and there's only 47 bodies that are behind them. But Trump is okay because he hasn't been as bad, or this was done. It's just like we are gauging this morality compass is so far out of whack here that we don't care. We're actually at that point. This country is actually at that point where they're going.
Is it insensitivity to the issues, or is it just stupidity, or such a lack of moral training that this all seems, this must be the way it is?
Well,
I don't know.
See, and I'll give you another example, and I'll pick on both sides, man. I'll pick on them both. I'll give you an example. The daily crap. And it's been every single day for the last 6 months, right? 30 days in a month, 30 days of crap every single day. Every pile of crap that has come out about both of them has outdone the previous day. And now we've forgotten about the previous day's crap. We're dealing with the fresh crap that is out today. And then the next day, and the next day. And there's been so much of it, so much that we're totally insensitive. We have totally lost the concept of what it is to have moral character. That we'd rather just go, you know what? He's not as bad as her. She's not as bad as him. They're not as bad. It is so bad, but they're not that. It's nuts. I mean, I can't even believe it that we are actually discussing it on those terms. And the news and the talk shows and the pundits and the talking heads are weighing this stuff. They forgot about the stuff. Nobody's even talking about his $1 billion write-off anymore. Nobody's talking, that was last week was the biggest news, that he hasn't paid taxes in 20 years. And the people around this country that have been paying their fair share. Look, if I make $30,000 a year and $10,000 comes out, 30%, comes out, and I'm paying, that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money if I'm making 30, 40 grand and I'm humping every single day. Right? And then somebody that's a billionaire, and he doesn't want to pay taxes. He can't afford to. He doesn't pay taxes, but yet he still gets a private jet. Who's paying for that? Wait a minute here. You don't get to pay taxes. You don't get no private jet, right? You don't get, but nobody wants to talk about that. And Benghazi was a nightmare. And what was really true with all of that? We don't even talk about Benghazi. It's because there's others. It's crazy how the stuff is piled up every single day, and every day we've got fresh stuff. So we just forget about what happened 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, last week, last month. It's nuts. It's nuts, Paul. I don't know how we got here, man. What we need is more people like you. If everybody was Paul Barbaro, and we would be, just think of the paradigm shift. It would be a brave new world.
Well, there is a certain benefit to being in contact with the spiritual realm. Another comment on Egypt. I've been a big, big, big fan for decades of Joseph Campbell. And, I read almost everything he's written. And the man is absolutely amazing. But even he didn't have the grasp of Egypt like this gentleman did, the past week.
Oh, Stephen Mailer or Youssef on Monday or Stephen Mailer on Tuesday?
Both of them combined.
Right. Could they work
together? Ahead of the pack on this real forward thinking, and I like their approach. It's like, what are we looking at? What do we see? Not what the PR is or the story about it, but what are we looking at? And then they draw their own conclusions. And I'm saying, boy, science used to be empirical a long time ago. What do you see?
Oh, those days. Those days, the sense of wonder, right, that you're talking about,
yeah,
it's kind of gone. You know, and I'm still like a kid. I was just talking about the new the Star program that it's called Star Chart on my cell phone.
Yeah,
and I just feel like a little kid, man, running outside, holding up my cell phone and looking at the constellations and the stars, and okay, all right. You know, that's me. I love that stuff. I love the sense of wonder. You know, when we were out at Contact in the Desert, we went up this one night, the FADERNIGHT. We went up, Eric, our friend Eric, got this house up in the mountains. And so we went up there and with no light pollution, nothing on, and looked up into the sky. And, we're standing directly under the Milky Way, and I'm looking at it. And it was like the best IMAX theater you could ever do. Just sit there and stare at this thing that's up there. And that sense of wonder, and that's me. And I do that every day on the show. I really do.
I love it. There, when you're looking at the Milky Way, the awesome thing about it is there's depth to it, and you can see some of the depth, and it's just stunning. I have friends that probably have never seen it, but I used to drive between L.A. and Phoenix a long time ago, before Phoenix was a huge metropolis. And I'd drive deliberately in the middle of the night, and I'd stop right smack in the middle of the desert, and I'd look at the Milky Way, and it's amazing what's out there. Just stunning.
Yeah. I used to do that same drive between Tucson and Phoenix. And I used to do that drive at night, too, and would once in a while would pull over and on some desert road, pull over and get out of the car and just look at it because it was just gnarly, So, yeah, I'm totally with you. Totally with you on that. But now I've got Star Chart on my phone. Look out. So,
I love it.
So, right before the show, so I run out of the bunker. And I've got Star Chart, right? And I pointed up at the sky, and I'm in, here in Burbank, and with all the light pollution, and my phone is showing me, I could see where Venus is, and one other star. It would I could see it, but it's showing me the constellations that are there, but you can't see any of it because of the light pollution here. So I'm going to give it a better shot in the complete darkness tonight, though. I can't wait to do it.
Right.
So,
in the LA area, it's kind of hard to get complete darkness because LA is so big and there's so many lights.
Yeah, humanity's been completely cheated here in LA, and New York, and Miami, and San Francisco, Dallas, Houston, Chicago, Detroit. All of these major cities here in the United States. The light pollution has just ruined the night sky. It's completely ruined it. Fortunately, here in LA, you don't have to drive too far. You don't have to drive too far. Get out to Palm Springs or Joshua Tree or up to Big Bear, and you can experience it. And, it only takes you, 30 minutes to an hour to get out of town. But you're not going to do it in town. No, there's nothing up there.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. Thank you so much for calling in, my friend, and I hope all is well. And when you get the books finished, we'll get you back on the show.
Okay, thanks. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Okay, bye now.
He's absolutely right. Learn something every night on this show. I do. Now, also, did I retweet this? Maria, is that the movie theater that you remembered? I did retweet this. Was this on that corner? I remember that logo, the art theater. Was it on that corner? Was that Topanga and Ventura Boulevard? That is trippy, and that is the wonder of this show right there. Scientists have unveiled plans for Asgardia, a space station nation and defender of the Earth with room for 100,000 citizens. Dr. Igor Ashbeli of the Aerospace International Research Center announced the plan, saying that Asgardia aims to, and I'm quoting here, flourish free from the tight restrictions of state control that currently exists, end quote. He is the chairman of UNESCO's Science of Space Committee, the United Nations. He also said that their mission is to act as guardians of the earth. And I'm quoting here, nation would be the first to work building a protective shield to protect the earth from debris, asteroids, coronal mass ejections, all of that stuff. Currently, all space programs, including commercial, must be supervised and authorized by a government on Earth. I don't know if you knew that. When applications for Asgardian citizenship goes above 100,000, they can apply to the UN for the status of state. I'm not making this up. An online registration form is welcoming applications for citizenship right now, with the first 100,000 qualifying for automatic citizenship. You can go check it out right now, Asgardian. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. Going to take a quick break. 323-825-5045. You can also follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, hashtag F2B. When I come back, I'm going to tell you a little story. Take some phone calls. I'm going to tell you a story about Rita and I had a deja vu, the same one, at the same time this past weekend. I'll tell you all about it. I'll be right back.
Here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-618-WAVE, 888-618-WAVE, or visit mydryhome.com. mydryhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fader night. 323-825-5045. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. If you're on hold, stay right there. I'll get right to you. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. That's what you do, at JChurchRadio. All right, hashtag F2B. Also, really quick, I'm going to be hosting Coast to Coast all weekend, and tomorrow night is open lines, and I will have Lloyd Auerbach on for the first hour, maybe two, tomorrow night on Coast to Coast. And then Saturday night, my guests are Chris Medina and David Oman. Yeah. So that's Saturday night. Cannot wait. So that's the weekend over at Coast to Coast. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, so anyway, back to Rita and I this weekend. On Saturday, we had a little pre-birthday party, right? Saturday night. And we had we had Dan Zukowski. We had a friend of mine, Javier Cedeno from Panama. And we had Jason Martell and his better half, Taylor, right? So we're doing our thing. We're cooking out. And Rita and I, now this is where it gets really trippy. Rita and I are we're on our patio. And we both deja vu at the exact same time. And as we deja vu, we both say, we're deja vuing. And we both say what is happening in the deja vu at that moment. And we're tripping. And we announce it to everybody there. And Rita and I are looking at each other like we've lost our minds. I'm not making this up, okay? We have witnesses. And so this is going down, and we're in that deja vu moment, right? And it's lasting for a couple of minutes, and we're tripping, and it's cool, and it's fun, and we're talking about it. We can't remember today what the deja vu was. Can't remember it. Yet, when we were in the zone on Saturday, and just so you know, this is before the drinking started. We were still in cooking mode. We discussed the whole thing with everybody, and we were deja vuing, man. We were tripping, and it was fun. And we don't remember. We don't remember what it was. Can't remember. Not even the slightest little bit of it. Trippy, huh? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. Paul Barbaro here again. What did you say about Asgardian? That was heavy duty.
Yeah. Asgardian. Just look it up. Asgardian.
Gardian, because I spelled it Guardian in Google, and it didn't come up.
No, Asgardian.
And it's one word.
One word. Asgardian.
Okay, thanks. I'll check that out. If that's real, it's heavy duty.
Yeah, no. Go to my Facebook page. There's a full article and pictures. It's pretty cool.
Thanks.
All right, Paul. Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work. Bye now.
See, it goes to show you right there. Unscreened, man. I just pick up the calls. Paul doesn't know the rules. See, he's listening to me right now. Hey, Paul, one phone call per show, pal. Anyway. Love Paul, man. He's the best. I watched Paul do his thing at a conference, and we're in this room, and I'm watching him do his thing, and I got sucked in. I got sucked in for about 15 minutes just watching him do this ceremony. It was pretty bleeping amazing. Anyway, we don't remember during the last break. I went down the hall into Rita's studio, and I'm like, hey, what was the deja vu about? I don't know. I don't remember. I was hoping you'd remember. Oh, what do you mean you're hoping I remember? I need you to remember. I don't remember nothing. She doesn't. We sat there and talked about it, not only while it was going on, but for 15 minutes after. And here we are 2 days later. Don't remember. Not 2 days, 4 days. Can't remember. All right. Where am I? The Galaxy Note 7 are catching on fire, as everybody knows. And now Samsung, and I was just talking to, who was it, Josh, that Samsung is taking the handling and transportation of the malfunctioning devices pretty dang seriously. The company announced yesterday it will be providing owners of all flaming phones, get this, with fireproof packaging and fireproof gloves so they can safely return their Galaxy Note 7s. Yeah, man. Flame-proof. Now, not only that, but they will, because the post office won't ship these things. They will not go into any planes. You can forget about that. It's only ground transportation that is dealing with this now. And the post office is freaking out. So Samsung will send a courier to your house to pick this up. And you have to handle the phone with the fireproof gloves, back it into the fireproof packaging, seal it up, and then hand it off to the courier when they show up. I don't know. I've seen some numbers, but I think all of them are way conservative. I don't know, but I'm going to guess here and say that Samsung is losing billions of dollars. Billions. They overtook everything, man. The Galaxy and the Galaxy Note for the last couple of years overtook everything. Android already, and that's where they are at, man. They were riding that wave. And then this. All Galaxy. That's it. All Galaxy Note 7s. New, old, replaced, whatever. That's it. All recalled. And you would have thought that all the phones have been returned. They haven't. Right now, the latest numbers are at like 40%. People don't want to return them. There's no way I would have a Galaxy Note 7 in my back pocket, in my car, anywhere. The thing's going to explode. I mean, if you think about it, walking around with an explosive device like that on your person and just taking a chance, would you walk around with a hand grenade? Would you do that? Would you walk around with some C4 explosive and some nitroglycerin in a bottle? Just carry it around in your pocket. It might blow, might not. I'm just carrying it around with me. That's what you're doing with a Note 7. It's that crazy. All right. Geophedia will no longer have access to Twitter's user data. Now, listen to me. The Chicago-based startup used to help law enforcement track protesters. Protesters in Ferguson, protesters in Baltimore, and the ACLU brought this up and they got caught. Facebook and Instagram have already severed ties with the company. Accusations, and this is Big Brother, man, the technocrats. This is it. Accusations against Geophedia first surfaced back in September when the American Civil Liberties Union of Northern California discovered that at least 13 law enforcement agencies in California have used Geophedia tools to keep tabs on protesters. Police in San Jose, California, used the tools to monitor South Asian, Muslim, and Sikh activists. They got caught. On Tuesday morning, Twitter announced it was suspending Geophedia's commercial access to all Twitter data. I mean, trippy. I keep talking about this. One of the things on my cell phones, this is what I do. And I think everybody should follow my lead. I turn off GPS. Turn it off. The only time I turn it on, and that's it. Well, and with, of course, Star Chart. You need it for Star Chart. The only time I turn it on is if I need it for directions, which is rare because in our cars, we've got navigation. All right. So In the event of I'm with somebody that doesn't have navigation, which has only happened a couple of times in the last year, then I turn it on. Other than that, on my phones, GPS is off. Off. No. This website wants to access your location. Pops up on because that crap is off. I use the internet for a lot of different things on my cell phone. Have to, right? It's obvious. GPS turned off. A new dwarf planet about half the size of Pluto has been discovered at the edge of our solar system. Right, a brand new dwarf planet. It's 8.5 billion miles from our sun, and it is called 2014 UZ224. It measures about 329 miles in diameter, about half the size of Pluto. And it takes, check this, 1,100 years to orbit the sun. But this is where it gets good. It was discovered by students from the University of Michigan and physicist David Gerdes, who uncovered it amongst a galaxy map that he created with his dark energy camera. It's called a DCAM for his dark energy survey project. Now, 5 other dwarf planets have officially been recognized as being part of our solar system. We have Ceres, we have Aries, we have Haumea, we have Make, and of course, Pluto, right? However, there are thought to be at least 100 more. Took them 3 years to find this. They were overlaying these images over each other, and they were seeing this move. It also disappeared a couple of times, by the way, which threw them off. They didn't understand what was going on. So it took 3 years to confirm. But there it is. It's unnamed. We got to name it something else besides 2014 UZ224. Got to come up with something cool. But there's at least 100 more out there at the edge of the solar system. Think about that. Now, all right, I was saving this. I'm going to go ahead and do this now because it's really, really cool. And again, if you're on hold, just stay right there. All right. Eric Olson watched with anxiety from Nebraska as Hurricane Matthew declared the most dangerous storm ever to approach Central Florida. Let me do this. Okay, if you're on hold, stay right there. I'm going to make the announcement again. If you're on hold, stay right there. Declared the most dangerous storm ever to approach Central Florida. It loomed along the eastern United States last week. Going to hit my river moon. Man, that's good coffee. He and his family members across 3 different states waited for a call from his 87-year-old grandmother. Longtime resident of the Palm Coast, Florida, some 1,300 miles away from Nebraska. She had lived through her fair share of hurricanes, but, they still worried for her safety, of course. The storm brushed Florida October 7th, bringing high winds, floodwaters, and mass power outages. And I talked about this nationwide cell that went down, cell network. It killed 9 people. Now, with the phone lines down, what did I just say? Olson and his family had no way to contact his grandmother. They waited by the phone, but no call came. Friday passed with no information. Saturday did too. By Sunday, Olson and the family were freaked out. He solicited the help of local law enforcement officials. He wrote on Facebook, but the police and the sheriff's departments were, quoting, overwhelmed, ignored him. So, without any options, what did he do? Well, he turned to the only other place his mind could think of. He picked up the phone and called Papa John's Pizza. He did. And they picked up. What did Olson do? Well, he did what any good grandson would do. Any genius. He ordered a pizza. Pepperoni, by the way. But that was only the vehicle for his mission. In the special instructions section, taped to the top of the pizza box, he had them type a message to the delivery driver, which said, "Grandma, please call." No joke, right? And he told the driver, is the second you get there, you dial this number and you hand her the phone. I'm not making this up. And there was Olson's phone number. The directive caught pizza delivery man and hero, by the way, Lance Tyler, by surprise. He had never seen anything like this. But he did. He obeyed. He really did it. He pulled up to the house on Parkway Drive and dialed the phone number on the receipt taped to the top of the pizza box. Olson answered the phone back in Nebraska. And he immediately says, "Dude, is my grandmother okay?" Well, they go and he knocks on the front door. And the grandmother goes, "Who's there?" And he says, "Delivery." And Claire Olson, his grandmother, heard. And she says she didn't want to answer the door. Because why? Well, she didn't order a pizza, number one. And she said that, after massive storms, people with sinister intentions take advantage of the vulnerable. They're looting homes and businesses and targeting people like me, the elderly. Well, she thought the man at the door was a scammer. Plus, her phone was out, which meant not only didn't she not call for help, but she certainly didn't order a pizza. And she yells through the door. She doesn't want to open up. She doesn't open the door. She goes, "I didn't order anything." And Tyler yells through the door, "Your grandson did." Well, she opened the door, she got her pizza, and then she got the cell phone handed to her. Eric Olson said, "Grandma, what's up? You haven't called us in 2 days." And that is a true story. You got to love it. And you know what? The rest is Papa John's history. It's a true story. Really happened. It's one of those stories, campfire, you're going to share with somebody later. They're not going to buy it, but you can just have them call me. It's a true story. Really happened. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, Jimmy. Good evening. It's a real shame that we got knocked off the air last night. Some of the chatters are calling for a rain check, maybe some overtime.
Nope, ain't going to happen. You guys get too much of us.
Well, at any rate, this was very good and was very informative. One thing I wanted to say, just a quick anecdote. So I had nothing else to do before I had to go to bed for work, so I was turned on my YouTube, and I was watching it on the big screen, and it was best UFO sightings for 2016. So I swear, you have your tech problems, I have mine. I'm sitting here alone. I started it up. It must have been on 30 seconds, and it was the first video was a video someone had taken of a huge column of light coming down from the clouds. I mean, definitely something that was a UFO shining on the ground. And I went, "Oh, this is interesting." Sat up in my chair, and then all my lights started to flicker in the house. And then I said, "Whoa." And then they came back on, and then everything went dark for all around here. I'll tell you, I looked out the window. I thought for sure they had landed above my house. True story.
You're smoking your pants again.
No, those pants are non-carcinogenic and non-hallucinogenic. They're only for the fiber.
I haven't done that for a few years. I have not gone back and, seen the best UFO videos of 2014. No, I haven't done it. I haven't done that in a while. So I imagine they're still doing it. But, all right. Any other good stuff on there?
Well, the other thing I wanted to notice is that it seems like there has been an increase. We were seeing saucers years ago, and in recent years there have been a lot more of these black triangles and black helicopters. But it seems the latest trend in sightings is the boomerang. I don't know if this is a new model of the triangle or what, but the people are seeing these boomerang craft now that are not a full triangle. So we need someone on soon to discuss that.
The Phoenix Lights, that was a boomerang. Don't forget.
Well, didn't some people, it looked like the lights were in a shape of of the wing line, but I thought some people said that it blocked out the whole sky. So I'm not sure if it was a boomerang or a triangle. But
Fife, the governor, when he was out there, Symington, that's exactly. There was plenty of witnesses, but they all said it was a V-shaped craft. V as in victory. V boomerang.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected.
No, but I mean that's just one. I mean, there's been plenty of sightings like that, but I certainly see the trend. I've always been fascinated when we go through these eras. We go through these trends, and there's something to it. And with what went on in Belgium, there's something to it. The wing-shaped boomerang stuff. Before and after the Phoenix Lights, that there's something to that. There was a video that doesn't exist out there. It's you could probably find it. It must be, but the videotapes themselves have since disappeared. But of that wing-shaped craft that was shot on the 10 freeway between Phoenix and Tucson that Paul and I were talking about earlier. And this thing was right there, man, flying through the stars, and you could see it. It was 5 lights, maybe 7, in that V-shaped formation there. I mean, ripping through the skies, and it was pretty cool. But there you go. Thank you so much, Dino. Behave and be well.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Thank you. What's up, Les? Les. All right.
Can you hear me now?
I got you now. All right. Check this out. Check this out, Les. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un hasn't been seen in nearly a week. Did you know about this?
No, I had no idea.
He skipped an event on Tuesday that paid tribute to his grandfather, Kim Il-sung, right, the leader for 46 years. He skipped that. He failed to appear in public as vicious flooding hit the country, destroying tens of thousands of buildings, leaving people homeless. The last time he was seen was Friday when he visited the Revolutionary Souvenir Factory, where state media said he provided field guidance. But then Kim was absent from the ceremony at the Palace of the Sun Tuesday, in which all of the top North Korean officials appeared on a guest list to pay respects to his family. But he didn't show up. So he has been gone for a week. Pretty interesting. Hey, did you know that Bill and Hillary's Wikipedia pages were hacked today?
No, I had no idea.
Dude, they were both replaced with pornography and a message supporting Donald Trump.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, it was pretty wild. It lasted for about 30 minutes. But so I got word and I went over. It was pretty wild. Pretty wild. And I was thinking, man, and as I was getting ready to tweet the links out, I was going, dudes, everybody got to go check this out. And then they snapped back to normal.
They shut it down.
No, 30 minutes. And then that was it. So
30 minutes of fun, though, while it lasted.
Over in Great Britain, they've had literally hundreds of incidents of craziness with the mask, the creepy clowns holding knives, chainsaws, hatchets, baseball bats.
Where is this?
Over in the UK, in South Yorkshire.
You're kidding me.
No. This teenager, Owen Russell, ended up in the hospital for head injuries after a clown attacked him and his friends in an alley. Another guy got attacked with a knife. He got 3 fingers cut off. And now, right now, there's a British man. He's dressing up as Batman, and he's been out fighting killer clowns. And he's offering his services for free on Facebook, and it's called Cumbria Superheroes. He won't identify himself, but he's told all the kids and published a video. Anything goes on, let me know, and I'll go there, and I'll kick some ass.
I hope he has a decent utility belt.
Man, it's what's going on over there right now is nuts in the UK. I mean, it's like gone to another level, and they've got Halloween. Halloween's a big deal there, just like it is here. You know,
I mean, we thought it was bad here with clowns offering kids money and, it never being able to get a picture of them. But God, you're right. It's gone to a whole nother level there. I didn't even know that was going on.
Yeah, man. It's off the hook.
Well, I guess I'm glad that, at least, we're not getting the crap beat out of us by the clowns here in the United States, at least.
I mean, chainsaws, baseball bats, man, the UK, man. That's all I got to say.
Hardcore.
Take us out of here, Les.
All right. Special thanks to Jon Rappoport and all the first-time callers and Fadernauts who phoned home tonight. Fade to Black executive producer is Rita Kamurian. Special thanks to LJ3, that's me, Renee Jonas Mark. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Brother Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Bateau, and Mark D. Kovar. Fadey by Dale. Webmaster is Drew, the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication KGRA The Planet. And for the week, Jimmy and I are out of here.
Thank you so much. Let's behave. We'll see you on Monday. I'll see you on Coast tomorrow night.
See you on Coast. Good night.
This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll see you tomorrow night over on Coast. My guest will be Lloyd Auerbach, and, of course, open lines. It's Friday. Everybody be safe. Go Backley Tappy.